Welcome back to Building the Pride. I'm your host, Drew, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, Mike. Mike, how are you?
You know what, Drew? The Lions put up a big old W on Sunday, and I'm still feeling great about it. So I'm doing good. How about you?
Well, I'm a little sad because this is the last time that we'll be coming to you like this. I'm moving to a different shift at my job, and Mike and I are trying to figure out what the format of the show will look like once that happens. So we will do our best to keep everybody informed when we come up with an idea, but otherwise I'm good because partially because the Lions looked really good on Sunday, so it really helps.
We did. We'll get to that here in a momento because this is a Lions podcast after all. But there was some interesting stuff that happened around the NFL. Do you want to fill us in on some injuries and miscellaneous things?
Sure. So I think the big news from the weekend was that Cincinnati quarterback Joe Burrow left the game, which I have qualms about because he has a relatively severe turf toe injury. So that's when a ligament comes off the bone of your toe, your big toe, from what I believe. And here's my problem. Someone put this on the internet. I don't know if it's true, but I tend to believe it. If you watch the footage of Joe Burrow get hurt, he then gets walked back to the locker room by two other Cincinnati Bengal, like I'm assuming medical staffers. Right. Literally, Burrow's arms are over their shoulder. Every other team in the NFL has a golf cart that comes out for this kind of stuff, you know? Right. And the Cincinnati fucking broke Bengals can't even get a golf cart for like medical emergencies. You have to walk your quarterback
for your $200+ million assets
who just hurt his foot. You know, like it just is a horrible look for a franchise that has this reputation for being cheap.
Yeah.
Just get I don't care. Get a golf cart for these people. It's so bad looking. Anyways,
I have to wonder if he's like, no, man, I'm going to go off on my own, even if it's like not on my own, right?
I don't care. Put him on the golf cart. Very, very, I didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
Then in Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy has an ankle injury and is confirmed to miss at least this upcoming week, but estimates range anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks that he could be out. So that's going to be a week-by-week injury.
And who's their backup there?
I have no idea. Because Daniel Jones is now in Indianapolis. Oh, have you heard his new nickname?
No.
Indiana Jones.
I like it.
It's so fun. So
Carson Wentz.
Oh, that's right.
And then Max Brosmer, and then in fourth string is Desmond Ridder.
Oh, wow, Desmond Ridder. Still in the NFL. Good job, buddy. Yeah. The disastrous 2022 quarterback class. So what else? There was another hurt quarterback.
Well, Purdy got hurt week 1, and he's out. Jaden Daniels?
Jaden Daniels has a sprained left knee and is guaranteed to miss at least one game. So that's not good.
Yeah.
Tua looks like he's playing hurt, but he's just normally healthy, and that's just what he looks like apparently now. And then
the Dolphins are doing their best to make my bold bet come true.
Oh my God.
They might go 0-17.
Yeah. Their coach, Mike McDaniel, this is a direct quote of his: "To win games, you have to win the game, not lose the game." Genius level coaching.
Yeah. So, I don't know how he did not get nominated for Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
That is next level.
What was that famous Yogi Berra quote?
Which one? He had many.
There's like one that's like, I'll just look him up here just real quick. Like, Wherever you're going, there you are, or something like that.
90% of the game is half mental. Was another one.
Oh yeah. It ain't over till it's over. You can observe a lot just by watching. If you don't know where you're going, you'll end up someplace else. When you come to a fork in the road, take it.
Take it. Yep.
Yeah. It's just a weird dude. Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
No one goes there anymore.
So Brian at BD.
No one goes where?
There.
It's too crowded there?
Yeah.
There's this really funny meme where it's like this little kid, like maybe like 2 years old, and he goes, "Uh-oh." And then his mom's like, "What?" And he goes, "People." And that's what I feel like every time I leave my house. So
yeah, so that's a legit feeling at this point right now.
Yeah, so there's some pretty significant injuries already poking up in the NFL. Like Cincinnati won that game, but looks like they probably lost their season, right? So like that, which I mean, unfortunate. So Burrow now has one season, 2024, where he hasn't missed games due to injury. So
he didn't miss games the Super Bowl year though, right?
I believe he did.
Did he?
Or he played through an injury. Yeah. Gross. So
the Lions have an injury as well, right? We just put Shane Zylstra on IR
for I thought you meant a serious injury.
No, nothing serious.
Did it say for how long?
He's on injured reserve, so I think there's a minimum of like 6 games or something for that, right?
Gotcha.
Something along those lines. We signed tight end Ross Dwelly with our practice squad, and offensive lineman Tristan Castillo went from our practice squad to our active roster. Yeah. And we cut linebacker Monty Rice.
Who had a horrible game. Who I believe had some special team snaps that did not go well. So, So I would also like to do the thing where we each get to talk about one non-Lions game briefly.
Oh, all right. Let's do it.
Davenport had a sack and then came up ginger, but a lot of guys came up gingerly. Mahogany had a couple of...
Even Hutch went limping for a little bit. That made me a little nervous.
Of course it does. So I want to talk about the Colts again.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So week 1, the Colts beat Miami in extremely convincing fashion. Okay. Is this team for real? Who knows? It was week 1. Miami looks terrible. Week 2, they play the Broncos. Broncos are a sleeper pick for a lot of wild card predictions from like NFL media personalities. They are widely considered to have a great, if not the best, defense in the NFL this year. And they outplayed expectations last year. They were their wild card team. Bo Nix was a pleasant surprise as a rookie under Sean Payton. A lot of positive arrow pointing up things about Denver, right? So, once again, don't know how good Denver is going to be this year so far. But the Colts played them dead even and ended up winning the game on I think this was the game where they were supposed to kick a 60-yard field goal.
Yes.
And then with like no time on the clock or very little time on the clock. And I don't think their kicker was that good or a rookie or something. He kicks the 60-yard field goal and he misses. Well, then they're flagged for leverage, which is where you
jumping over the center, essentially, right?
You touch the center in some way that's illegal now because he's defenseless or whatever when he snaps the ball. And 15 yards re-kick. And now it's a 45-yard field goal. And like if you're a kicker in the NFL and you can't make that, you probably shouldn't be a kicker in the NFL, right? I mean, like that's kind of the meat and potatoes of the NFL. So he kicks that and wins the game, right? So I'm not trying to sit here and be like, ooh, Colts, dominant AFC team, but like, ooh, Colts, like duking it out with a playoff team from last year, blow for blow, and then, getting the ball last and capitalizing on a mistake that the Broncos made and, getting the game. They're 2-0. And it looks like that their skill position players have really come together quite nicely. Like adding Tyler Warren, Penn State tight end, really, really, really good player. Seems to be the gear, like the cog that all the other things are flowing off of, right? Like they're lining him up all over the place. He's beating people in the NFL the way that he was beating people in college. And now Michael Pittman is getting different looks, and Josh Downs is getting different looks, and like Alec Pierce is still a deep threat. And you have, the kid from Texas, A.D. Mitchell, I want to say, like they are like a legit five people deep. Oh, and then they have Jonathan Taylor, who, if he looks anything like Jonathan Taylor from like 2 or 3 years ago, is like a super dangerous running back. So like, I really believe that this is the best team that Daniel Jones has been on, because he used to play for the Giants. And so far, he looks like a quarterback competent enough to run an offense the way it's designed and to put good. I don't think that any of the guys, Tyler Warren has an opportunity to be a top 5 tight end in the league this year, but like outside of that, I don't think any of their other skill position, like pass catchers, are like the top of their respected positions.
None of them are elite, right?
Yeah, but they have a lot of those guys. Like when you have a lot of B+ guys, you can find somebody that's like, okay, here it might be like Tyler Warren is an A+ tight end, and then like 4 B+ pass catchers to follow him up with, who all do something a little bit different. And that might just be good enough with a competent quarterback, So
I feel that's Green Bay, right? I mean, none of their wide receivers are like top 5s, but like
I would agree.
They're all quite good.
I think the difference this year so far is that Green Bay's defense looks awesome.
Yeah.
And
Micah Parsons does that to a team, right?
And the scary thing about them is I think they're still managing his back injury, because he's still just coming in like situational pass rush scenarios, but he was unblocked. Like, I was listening to a podcast today, and they were talking about Parsons. He was like, he had no stats and was very clearly the best player on the field. Like it was crazy how much like. So he, at one point, I think for the game, he had like a 25% pass rush win rate, which is ridiculous. I mean, that's like saying like, you're a 99, skill player in Madden. Like it just doesn't happen all the time. So like, but he's been like legitimately crushing people since he's been to Green Bay. And like, once he's healthy and once they figure out how they really want to use him like more often, like he's going to be an absolute terror for them. So I'm really continually pissed off. Oh, I do have one more thing I want to say.
Yeah. And I'll go with my non-Lions game.
Excellent.
It'll be a quick and dirty one.
All right. The Green Bay Packers gave Micah Parsons $188 million on a 4-year extension. After he was traded, this is what Dallas did. They gave Deron Bland $92 million on a 4-year extension, I believe. And then they gave Tyler somebody.
That tells you all you need to know, by the way.
Their left guard. Well, he's real good, but like I don't know his name off the top of my head. They gave their left guard.
Is it Lindbaum?
No, that's the center in Baltimore. I'll look it up here in a second. But like they gave him 4 years, $96 million. Now, Mike, do some math for me real quick off the top of your head. Can you add up what 92 and 96 comes out to?
Carry the one. Yeah. Same price.
It is exactly the same amount of money. So what you are telling me is that if Green Bay offered the trade of Kenny Clark, the left guard, he's coming off of his rookie deal and he's good, and Deron Bland and 2 first-round picks, that's what they traded Micah Parsons for. And like, I could understand, okay, that you would probably have to have that conversation. But I'm looking at Micah Parsons right now, and I'm thinking, like, that seems ridiculous. Why didn't you just give him the money?
100%.
Why didn't you just give him the money? It just doesn't make any sense to me. You spent the money's worth of the trade, right? You spent the money's worth of the trade immediately. You had it. You had that money. And to extend a corner, who I don't have a lot of respect for, and a guard, who I do have a lot of respect for, but is still a guard, and to give up on an elite pass rusher, to me, is just hubris.
And he's not just an elite pass rusher. He is a game-changing pass rusher.
Yeah, he's the kind of defensive
Tyler
player
Guyton is probably who you're thinking
Thank
of.
you. So, well, that's the left tackle. I'll figure it out here in a second.
Tyler Smith is the left guard.
That's who it is.
So they have 3 Tylers on their line. So there's Tyler Guyton at the left tackle, Tyler Smith at the left guard, and Tyler Booker at right guard. So apparently you have to be a Tyler to be on the Cowboys offense.
I would love it if they got to all 5 Tylers and just call them the Tylers. I think that'd be fucking
Brock
sweet.
Hoffman and Terrence Steele. Brock being their center and Terrence being their right tackle. They can be honorary Tylers.
Yeah.
And Terrence, it's close to Tyler, but
Cooper Beebe is their starting center, but he got hurt. So
yes, he's on IR.
Yeah. So, okay, Mike, what was your game?
So my game was the Seattle Seahawks versus the Pittsburgh Steelers for a couple of reasons. Number one, because Pittsburgh got their ass kicked, and I always enjoy watching Aaron Rodgers lose. But number two, because the Steelers allowed something to happen that hasn't happened. I don't remember the last time this happened. I'm going to take the banner down so we can see it.
Oh, because I don't think that it's ever happened.
It hasn't happened in years because of the way that the kickoff rules were, but there has been kickoffs that were touchdowns like tens and tens of years ago, right?
Yeah.
But they go to kick off. It bounces in the live zone, goes right through his hands, and he just leaves it. And so Seattle's like, okay. It landed in the live zone. It's a live ball. They score a touchdown on their own kickoff because the Pittsburgh Steeler let it go right through his hands and just let it roll. And I think that is just hilarious. So this was the game I want to talk about because that just cracks me up, Drew.
This is one of the reasons why. This is one of the arguments why it's like, you don't let rookies do ...
Yeah.
Right? So that guy that let the ball bounce through his hands is Caleb Johnson. He's a running back from Iowa. I believe they drafted him in the 2nd round, and he's out there returning kicks. Why?
Gosh. Comedy gold.
And somebody came out and said he told his coach, he's
didn't
like,
know
I didn't know the rule. And he's coming from college where that rule doesn't exist. I don't believe. And then
it's a totally different kickoff in college, right?
They've changed this rule in the NFL, I think, as of last year. So first of all, I have a huge problem with some of the things the NFL is doing. So you had kickoffs. People were getting hurt. You wanted to promote safety. Okay. The XFL or somebody had this format for kickoffs. You watched it and got the data from the year they did it. And then you implemented it. You changed it immediately the 2nd year, which is, I believe, last season.
Yep.
Is this the 3rd year we've had this?
Year 2.
Okay. So you've changed it since last year, and now you've changed it to re-promote returning the kicks.
Yeah. If you didn't want people returning the kicks and be safer, just let them kick it through the end zone like they've been doing it for the previous 5 years.
Yeah. So here's the thing, is that at least last year when they were just kicking the ball out of the back of the end zone, fine with me. it took 8 seconds for them to kick the ball, and then we got another commercial, and then you were back in the game.
Yep.
Okay. So like they made this thing where if you get a touchback now, you bring it out to the 35. The 35, like I can understand the 25, like reward somebody a little bit for the kickoff or whatever, like have it be like, oh, you don't want the return? Okay, they start 5 yards closer than the entire history that we've been watching football. But like the 35 is more than a first down that they've earned, compared to the way it was before. Like it's crazy.
In 2 first downs, you're in field goal range.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But hey, offense is where the fun is, and that's where you get the exciting stuff, which I get. But at the same time, I also really like good defense too. So not every game has to be 40-35. So yeah. So let's talk Lions. Let's talk Lions. So we got absolutely annihilated in Green Bay. It wasn't as close as the score looked. It felt out of hand and out of reach far earlier in the game than we would otherwise have wanted to see it. And so there was this big fear of like, is this our offense? Like, was Ben Johnson that much of our offense? How is the Bear? And I even asked you, I'm like, is it too early for this to be a must-win game? Because if we lose to Green Bay, if we lose to Chicago, who we should beat, and now we got to go into Baltimore, are we not probably starting 0-3 and then right? So we have to win this game. I think must win or not, we went out and we just absolutely kicked their butt. Everything from the Ben, the anti-Ben Johnson chants, which again, just like with Stafford, I think it's unfair. He did a lot of good for us. But fine, boo him or whatever, I guess. But I'm not a big fan of that. But everything from that right through the end of the game, it was just all Lions all game long. So it was super fun to watch. What was your, I guess, first takeaway from the game?
The force was with us on Sunday. Sure was, Hatters. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah.
Running game worked. The first half was close, right? It was 21-14 or something to that, something around that, right? The second half was not close. They got the ball 6 times. I think they scored 6 times or some ridiculous number.
It was 5 of 6, I think.
Yeah. So, like, to be honest, it was like the inverse of like the San Francisco NFC Championship game, right? Like, my concern about the Lions is that can they beat good teams?
Because we'll see Sunday.
Beating up on bad Monday night, right?
Monday, yeah.
Beating up on bad teams is fun. I love it. I don't care.
A dub's a dub.
If Dan Campbell ran up the score on Ben Johnson, I don't give a shit. I mean, to me, there's no such thing as running up the score. You
don't like it? Stop it.
No, there's the only time anybody should quote unquote play for the sportsmanship of it is when you kneel on the ball inside of 2 minutes. Outside of that, you're playing the football game.
Yeah, what I mean is like if you don't like someone running up the score, stop them from doing it, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, 100% what I believe.
Even Ben Johnson's like, no.
Yeah.
It's like they could have kicked a field goal here, but like that's not what they do. They don't punt the ball, they don't kick field goals. So like
do you think Ben Johnson would kick a field goal when he could score a touchdown or kneel on the ball or whatever? I mean, like, no. He's going to do the exact same thing when the Bears are in a winning situation that what Dan Campbell did on Sunday. Because he coached with
the Baltimore Buffalo game taught you anything.
Yeah.
No lead is safe.
No, you cannot ever let your foot off the gas in the modern day NFL. Offenses just score too quickly.
Yep. A turnover, a pick six, or all those things just flip the field and flip the score and all the momentum fast. Just keep going.
I think we can just go back to the Bears' previous game against the Vikings, and they were up like 20 points in the fourth quarter, and the Vikings won that game.
Yep.
You know, like you just can't stop. Like there's no reason to. I mean, it's fun for media people to write new articles about like, oh, Dan Campbell humiliates Ben Johnson or whatever. But like this game was close in the first half. Like it was good. I thought was everybody played better. Like the Detroit won some one-on-ones. The offense looked approximate to what it looked like last year, you know? And so like that's the thing to me that's going to keep people from freaking out is that like if the offense looks like it did this season without Ben Johnson, you know, when he was here last season with Ben Johnson, you know, like people will be like, okay, everything's going to be fine. It's not Ben Johnson didn't leave and this whole team forgot how to play offense.
Right.
He didn't take all of the playbooks with him when he left. I mean, like,
yeah, you have to turn that stuff in.
Yeah, that's Detroit Lions IP, baby. You know, like, so, you know, and I think everyone around Jared Goff played better this week, and therefore Jared Goff played better. And like, I like how they're using Jamison Williams. Like in the second half, he gets like a deep crosser that gets fed to him, and then outruns most people and puts it down to like the 12.
I thought he was gonna turn it in too.
I know, yeah, because he's that dangerous. And then like the next series, he gets like a 45-yard like bomb where he is yards behind the coverage. Yeah. You know, and like first of all, slow receivers when defenses have communication lapses like the Bears did on that play look like that. You know, when someone who's fast does it, it's like, oh my God, how could anybody allow that to happen? Like,
yeah,
how
he turned around and waited for that ball, right? Yeah. So, but he had 6 yards, 7 yards on the nearest defender. So,
yeah, he had to slow down and wait. So,
yeah, which is fine as long as the play's broken and there's nobody there to pick it off or knock it down because of the slowing down piece. But like, I thought that was great. I like to see more of that.
Oh yeah, it would be. Yeah, I'm in complete agreement. What did you think, Mike?
I think Hatters might be having a seizure there on the keyboard. I thought same kind of stuff. I thought our offensive line played better. I think our run game played much better. Gibbs and Monty both played very well. I do believe that they are the engine of our offense, and between the run game and the offensive line, it just made everything tick. It gave Jared Goff time. It opened up holes. All of those bring some of the safeties in and the defensive backs in because they have to respect the run, which opens up things like what we saw with Jamison Williams, and St. Brown played awesome again. I think overall, offensively, everybody stepped their game up when they needed to.
Yeah. Here's one I think you'll like.
Yeah.
Isaac Tisla needs to play more, and he needs to play more right now.
Are they not the best first 2 catches in the history of the game?
I mean,
Jesus.
So like Dan Campbell and like one of his either his post game presser or during a practice this week, he said he's had 2 opportunities, he's made 2 plays, so we're going to give him more opportunities. And like, I honestly believe that if you line this team up in 11 personnel and it's Tisla, Williams, St. Brown, Laporta, and then one of the running backs, like there is a chance. I didn't think it would happen, but like, and credit to you, Mike, but like, I didn't think that this kid was going to be what he was, what he is. And there is a chance.
Looks to be, right?
Right. You know, and there is a real chance that this kid could be like, there is an element here that like this offense has never had before, like a great big wide receiver that is both fast and has good hand. It is like he could be a weird amalgamation of all 3 Lions wide receivers from last year. Like, does he catch the ball like St. Brown? Well, all evidence to the positive thus far. You know, he is fast. like not as fast as Jameson Williams, but fast, like fast that you have to account for. He's big, like Tim Patrick. And, you know, like it's like if we combine the DNA of all those guys and then made a new receiver and then somehow turned him white, like that's who Isaac DeSlot is. You know, that's who he could be. And all of a sudden, if the Lions get a fourth pass catcher that you absolutely have to respect, I don't think there's any defense in the NFL that you could say is 1 through 4 as good as those pass catchers. So
I would like to see him. Every time I see Khalif Raymond out there in a passing situation, I'm just like, why is Tesla not there?
Right. Yeah.
Like, Leaf is good. He'd be a wide receiver 3 on a lot of teams. I'm not sure he does anything better than Tesla. And I would like to see more of those snaps go to Tesla at this point. But yeah, he looked very, very good. Jared Goff looked really good. A little bit higher grade than I thought he was going to get, just because there were a few, like the one bomb to Jameson Williams was a little bit behind him and that kind of stuff. A couple of his passes looked like straight ducks. I mean, but they were on target and the guys made catches. So I wasn't really sure how are they going to grade him. I figured he was going to be somewhere between, I told Danny, somewhere between about a 76 and about an 81 or 82, and he came out as an 85.1. So awesome there. St. Brown came out at an elite 91.6 on the offensive side. Defensively, who do you think? Have you already looked at our grades for the game?
I have looked at our grades.
All right. So you probably know who the highest graded defensive player is.
Yeah, it's no surprise either. Like he was all over the place there in this game.
Brian Branch was fun to watch. He made all sorts of plays. So yeah, you know, Hutch was up there at an 80.8. I mean, 80 is still good. Still it's real good, right? So Al-Qadim Muhammad played really well. So if Davenport is going to miss time, I think Muhammad is going to fill right in and do the things. So
yeah, I think if there is a way that Davenport misses any time, like Al-Qadim Muhammad might take that job and not give it back. You know, like he had a sack in this game where he just beat the Bears starting left tackle. Now I know a lot of people out there would be like, yeah, but the Bears left tackle isn't shit or whatever. But like that guy has held down that job now for years. I mean, like that's saying something, whether it's the Bears refuse to get another left tackle or he's actually quality and no one else recognizes it. But like he just straight bull rushed him and then threw him aside. I mean, like,
yeah,
I hated that so much. I hated it so much. I was yelling at the TV. It's Brian Branch. How do you not know who this guy is? It's Brian Branch.
It's not like the guy's name was, he was getting Taylor Decker and Eric Decker mixed up constantly.
Shut up, Mike. I hate you so much.
So the difference, I love you, man. The difference is that is literally their job. They get paid millions of dollars to do that. I did have to give you a little bit of crap.
Oh, man. Okay, that was good. I really don't have any defense against it. So,
but I mean, Davenport played well. DJ Reader played well. I mean, he's a good player. Reed picked it up last year. He was in the 50s. Tyleik Williams was also one of our lower performers last week. He picked it up a little bit. So I think like overall, Grant Stewart only a couple snaps, but like he's doing things. So it was good. When you win 52-21, there's probably not a lot that we're going to be able to say, that sucked.
The interior of the offensive line wasn't great again. My double 80 bet is in jeopardy.
Yeah, Tate was down at a 56 again. He was not great last week either.
I know that this is PFF and like they have a metric for how they assign grades, and this is not the definitive way that anyone should judge how people played, but like I think it was Dan Campbell or it might have been John Morton that was like, you can tell that this kid's going to be a star, right? He's not a star right now, and like
Yeah.
nor should he be. He's a rookie, so like the offensive line is a unit that benefits from continuity and playing together as a group over the long term. Mahogany and Ratledge are starting their continuity journey, right? And everything that I have heard is that Ratledge is likely to be their center of the future. So I would not be surprised if like we look back, say this time next year, and it was like, you remember when Ratledge took cross-training snaps at training camp at center, played guard the whole first season, got into the offseason, played exclusively center, and then like he just Glasgow's not on the team anymore. Like I do think that there's an incoming day 2 offensive lineman in our future for the Lions draft and this upcoming draft to find a right or left guard, probably a right guard, to replace where Ratledge is playing right now. But like he's still a rookie right now.
So do you think there's at any point this year that because Glasgow, he hasn't played particularly well either, right? He was a 56.7 this week. He was a 43.1 last week. Is there a time during this season that with both guys healthy, does Tate just take over the center? And they're like, you know what, Graham, Tate's been in the office now for half a year or whatever. He's going to move to center. You switch over to guard. And maybe he's just going to be better there. Do you think there's ever going to be a switch mid-season?
No, I don't. Once again, continuity being as important on this unit as any other unit on the football team. Like, I think you just play it out unless there's an injury. That's the only thing. Glasgow, I guess there's one or two like realistic scenarios in my mind. There's number one, there's an injury. Okay. Number two, Glasgow would have to be playing at such a low level, like, and I don't mean by PFF standards, I mean by like the coaching standards. Like, we as coaches had a vision for what we wanted to do. He is simply not executing that in any way, shape, or form. Like, I think that would have to occur over multiple games before they would say something like, okay, we're going to go with this other plan. But like, what's the other plan? Like, if you were to, no team is trading their center
right
in the middle of
the
other
season. Plan would have to be moved Tate over, right?
So I think that's a bad. So I would agree that is certainly one of the. There's only so many options, and that's clearly one of them.
Yep.
And I think that would be fucking horrendous as a decision, because you're basically saying season done in a lot of ways, because I don't think that he's capable of playing that position. You have to know the offense. So like, if you do that, then Jared Goff has to point out all the protections at the line. So that's one more thing for Jared Goff to do. And then he has to like be the pivot point for a lot of these different like blocks and like stunts or whatever. And like, I don't think that he can recognize them right now, as evidenced by the way that he has played in the first 2 games. Right. So like, he's seen a lot of this stuff for the first time, and like putting him at a more important position, center, than the one that he's currently playing, guard, would only compound the errors, in my opinion. So then you could promote someone like Kingsley Aguyakun, who has been on this team now for years and has, quote unquote, won the backup center position role on the team. But is anybody in the organization like, oh no, Kingsley can come in and do the job? I doubt it. So to me, the situation is effectively similar to the one that the Bengals are dealing with Joe Burrow. Like, oh, okay, the offense worked under Jake Browning. He did also throw 3 picks, and like you ended up winning the game by 1 point or whatever it was. But he can execute the offense, so we're going to keep him in, because what are your other choices? So like, I think that there's zero realistic chance that like, if Graham Glasgow's not the starting center on the team, he's not on the team.
Yeah, because he's either hurt or cut.
Right.
So far this year, this is the overall. It's only 2 games, but this is where we land. Green Bay is sitting number 1 overall. We are number 9.
Green Bay looks really good right now.
Really good.
In no way. Like, it's hard for me to be like, you're bad at this.
Yeah. Offensively, we are 7th. Defensively, we are 11th.
If they finish the end of the season at 7 and 11 respectively, they're in the playoffs, and I would be thrilled with our chances.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If you're basically top 10 in both offense and defense, and we know we've got a great special teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have for a while. Although ironically, right now we're only down at 19th. And I'm not exactly sure why that is, because I don't think Jake Bates has missed a kick yet.
Didn't he miss one this week? I think so. In the first half.
Oh, maybe, yeah. So we missed one kick, and that'll do it in a low sample size, I guess. But one of my staff members and I were talking about the game this weekend, because we're going to be playing Baltimore, right? So Baltimore is currently 3rd overall. We're 9th. Offensively, they are 9th. We're 7th for overall offense. Passing, they are, where are they? 21st, and we're 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Pass blocking, we're at 9. Basically, we were better than them in basically all of their way down at 27 on pass blocking. So maybe Hutch can turn things up. Receiving, we're at 2, they're at 4. Running, surprisingly, we're at 18 and they're down at 22. It's one of the best running teams in the league. So I found that interesting. Run blocking, I believe we were also higher than them. No, they were at 7 and we were down 26. So most of the offensive categories, we were better than them. Defensively, they were better than us. They're 3rd overall, we're 11. Run defense, they're 8, we're 12. But they're not like giant disparities, right? For some of these bigger categories. They're real close. Tackling, though, we are number 1 in tackling. They're number 2. So it's going to be a very good defensive game, I think. As we're talking about it, he's like, wow, we struggle with mobile running quarterbacks. I'm like, well, historically, that's true. But I think the last 2 years with Anzalone, when he's been healthy and playing really well, and Jack Campbell is a very sure tackler, I think our ability to defend running quarterbacks has improved the last 2 years. And I don't think that, Lamar Jackson, maybe the best or the second best with Josh Allen being, 1A and 1B, the best mobile quarterback, they're going to eat us up. I'm not sure that it is. Like Anzalone, Jack Campbell, Brian Branch, they're all very good tacklers, and they all close fast on the defender, on the runner. So I think it's gonna be a real good game. I think they're -6.5 points right now for Baltimore. So less than a touchdown. I think it's gonna be a tight game. What are your thoughts on Baltimore and how we match up with them?
Well, if I could take over the screen here quickly.
Absolutely.
I would like to share my screen because I think that this should be a part of the show. Moving forward here. Let me add this to the stage. Now I will make it bigger.
You're the man.
All right, so this is the PFF starting lineups for the Lions and the Ravens. So here we have the Lions offense, right? We know the guys. We know the guys on offense. So let's look at the Ravens defense. I would say that a weakness of the Lions offense is their interior offensive line currently. Well, unfortunately, one of the strengths of Baltimore is their 3-down linemen, right? So if they are going to play 5 across D linemen and play their outside linebackers like defensive linemen, I think we're in a lot of trouble because that's going to put the interior guys in one-on-one situations. Okay. And Madubuike and Travis Jones are excellent guys on their own. And either one of them should command the attention of 1.5 offensive linemen in some capacity if you're game planning for them. So I think this is going to be one of the things to watch during the game is, can Detroit's offensive line literally hold their own against the defensive front of the Ravens? Because if the Ravens get the better of this, it's going to be a really long night. So the places to attack the Ravens defense, in my opinion, are their 2 corners. Marlon Humphrey used to be an absolute shutdown, lockdown guy. I don't believe him to be that anymore. Wiggins is very slight. He's very thin. He's got not a lot of weight to him. You could bully him. Really, really fast, though. So I imagine he would be on JMO, and Humphrey would line up against either Laporta or maybe St. Brown. But I would attack their rookie safety in Malachi Starks, or this is another rookie, Teddy Buchanan from Cal. Roquan Smith, obviously, you want to stay away from. Kyle Hamilton, obviously, you want to stay away from. So, can you run the ball? How is Kyle Hamilton going to be deployed? And then, do you have opportunities to pick on basically like their safety or like one of their linebackers? Like this would be a game I would really love to see Gibbs split out to whatever side of the field Roquan Smith is not on. So that's the first thing, like from an offensive perspective. Like, can you establish the running game? Can you pick on what you deem to be the weaker opponent, so to speak? So like, let's switch it up.
And while you're doing that, I will note that Kyle Van Noy, their edge / outside linebacker, former Lion, if I recall correctly.
He is, yeah.
He is out for the game and is expected to miss multiple games due to hamstring injury. So he led their team in sacks last year with 12.5. So I don't like it when anybody gets hurt, unless it's Aaron Rodgers. So that's a real bummer. But if he's going to be hurt, it might as well be a game against us and not have him on the field. So,
gotcha. So that's any time that anybody isn't playing, that's effective. I'm pretty happy when it's not against us.
Right.
So now let's switch it around. The Ravens have maybe the deadliest rushing attack, on paper, in the NFL, with Lamar Jackson being able to run zone reads to Derrick Henry, Tyler Linderbaum, and Ronnie Stanley are the heart of their offensive line. Daniel Falalale is an absolutely enormous human being, 6'8", 380. And Roger Rosengarten is a second-year right tackle. So I would be putting Hutch, just as this graphic indicates, I would be pushing him over Rosengarten and trying to get into the backfield as much as I possibly could. The thing that I would like to see the Lions do in this game is I would like to see them play, which they've been playing more zone recently. So if we go nickel here, I would love to see them go nickel. And then I would love to have a Meek Robertson move to the outside. And I would like to bring Brian Branch down to create almost like not quite a cover one look, but like I think that you have to beat Baltimore within the first 2 seconds of a play. So Brian Branch needs to either be running and coming down the line to try and like get into Henry's legs, or to try and get Jackson just off his throwing platform at all, or who knows, make a play on the ball or whatever, and keep Jackson from just being able to like avoid the fifth rusher and like getting the ball to Zay Flowers, because Zay Flowers, I think, is going to eat up basically any cornerback that we put on him. He's just that kind of athletic St. Brownsian slot receiver, and
tough guy to handle.
So like I would say Robertson or Arnold I would put on Zay Flowers, and I think that I could live with DeAndre Hopkins or Rashad Bateman maybe beating me. But this might be the kind of game where like the Lions blitz 60% of the time, just to try and be like, we have to find a way to get the Ravens in negative plays, right? So if we can get the Ravens in some negative plays behind and down in distance, and like if we get them into 3rd and 14 and give up 13 yards, depending on where they are in the field, like they might punt, right? And then we need to play the ball control, attack the middle of the field, 4 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards kind of ball game, and this is a game that I would put to Slot in, I think, a lot, because he is a big body that can block in the run game. And I think you have to respect him as somebody. And if you have a package of plays for him, he has no tape. So like you can put a question mark on the field that Baltimore has not seen. And I would just be like, okay, like we're going to try and play sound like Detroit Lions football, and we're going to try and make it look sound. And then here's our X factor into Slaw. I can't believe I'm saying that going into week 3, but like, and like, I think there is a path forward that the Lions can go into this game and win it. But I'm still picking the Ravens to win until I see Detroit beat some good teams.
Yeah.
Like Mike, if you had to name during the Dan Campbell era, what is the best team, regular season or playoffs, that the Lions have beaten?
Well, probably Kansas City when they were without Chris Jones.
Right. So I think that's a great pick. And I think that I mean, if anybody else has,
and not only were they without Chris Jones, they had I can't even think of the wide receiver who's not with them anymore, where it doinked off of his hands, who was wide open, doinks off his hands for a pick 6, which was the difference in the game. Like
it was. That was great.
That was probably the one, right? Even though it was a shorthanded team, and I don't like that argument a lot of times because we can't control who plays on the other side. So It's not like we picked that, but we play who lines up across from us, and we beat them that game. So that's probably the best one.
Yeah, I think that's a real solid pick. And so like I think that if the best team that you have beaten in in this quote unquote administration in the Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes era is quote unquote a short-handed KC team at home at Kansas City. I don't know how, like, when we've played Buffalo twice, like this will be the second time we played Baltimore in 3 years, I believe. Like
we beat them in any of those games.
Right. So like, I love the Lions. I'm very happy with the way that the team has been built. I love the roster. I think they're doing things a very solid way that's going to improve the overall quality of the team. You have to beat teams like this, and yeah, it's Baltimore, and yeah, it's on the road, and yeah, like they have Lamar Jackson and all this other shit. But like, Baltimore is not the team that is like going to Super Bowls in the AFC. They have a hard time beating Buffalo. They have a hard time beating Kansas City. Like, you have to beat this team.
Yep.
And so if you can do that, A, if you can do it, B, if you can do it on the road, C, if you can do it on Monday Night Football when everyone will be watching.
A lot of pressure.
Late start, a lot of pressure. Like, show me that this can happen. before I start picking you to win these games and not just be a complete homer all the time.
Right.
So like I want them to win. I'll be rooting for them to win. I'm picking Baltimore to win until the Lions show me that they can beat these teams.
Beat an elite team. Yeah.
Right. I mean, to be in the elite, you have to be able to beat other elite teams.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're never getting.
We've got the
past
schedule
Philly.
to do it this year, right? If
Right.
we can't beat elite teams, we may not have more than 10 wins.
I mean,
Right?
we're going to play a lot of
6 elite teams.
Yeah.
Well, one of those elite teams, I think, is going to be without their quarterback now for a few months during our game, right? So, like, we're not going to play. And I'm not necessarily thinking Cincinnati's elite, but they're a dangerous team. But they're going to be without Joe Burrow. So if he's going to be off for a game, again, I'm thrilled that it's against us. So, but Philadelphia on the road, Washington on the road, Kansas City on the road, Baltimore on the road, Green Bay on the road, which we already lost, Cincinnati on the road, which now doesn't have their quarterback.
Looks pretty good.
That's tough. Like if we can't beat elite teams, we're not going to be doing well. Like those are going to be losses. So those are benchmarks. Hey, Kath.
What are slaying dragons? You mean slaying dragons?
Slaying, yeah.
Because what dragons have they slain? Like outside of like, I understand the exercising the demons part. There's been good amounts of that going on.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about slaying dragons, unless that's just a goal of ours.
I think unless dragons is more around like the expectations and meeting and beating expectations. Is not winning the division for 30 years a dragon? If so, we slayed it like a couple years in a row, right?
Yeah.
But to me, that's more exercising demons.
Right. So I mean, like, I would love to slay some dragons. Like, I mean, let's make them extinct. Let's wipe them out.
By the way, just for your chuckle for this week, I saw this, and I just the humor and the brilliance of the interwebs is brilliant. So I love it.
So I like this original meme where it's like Caleb Williams is that's a woman, and then Ben Johnson's just her boyfriend or husband or whomever, and he's like, I bet he's thinking about other girls, and he's always thinking about something stupid like Legos,
right?
Or something like that, and it's like, yeah, that's what guys think about. Like,
yeah,
that seems legit. That really speaks to me as a guy. So,
yep. So
if the Browns can stop him, so can who did the Browns stop?
Lamar.
Didn't they lose the game by like 25 points?
But they stopped Lamar.
But they lost the game by 25 points?
Yes.
Let me just go in. I'm just going to go check that score.
Oh, Derrick Henry. I guess we slowed him down as well. Or they slowed him down as well.
The score of the game. The score 41-17. I was wrong. 24 points. So let's see. Let's see. Let's do the box score.
The stats were.
Derrick Henry rushed 11 times for 23 yards. You're right. That's not good. Good job drafting Mason Graham, Cleveland. Let's just look at Lamar's stat line just real quick. 19 for 29, 225, 4 touchdowns. Oh, no. He had a terrible QBR. 2 rushes, 13 yards. Not great or whatever. And they won the game by 3 scores. So
interesting. He had a terrible QBR. Meanwhile, passer rating is like 128.59.
What are you doing? What are we doing here? Ridiculous metrics.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Mike, will you bring up the Lions schedule again, please?
I will. So
let's take a look at how the NFL hath changed.
Yeah, but so these, I mean, you know what? If you can keep Derrick Henry to 23 yards rushing, Lamar Jackson to 13 yards rushing, you're usually not losing 41 to 23 or 41-10 or whatever it was. 41-17. All right, so Lions schedule.
Yes. Okay. So those are 2 done. So we're going at Baltimore. Should be a tough game, right?
Yep.
Then we're at Cleveland. Now Cleveland has played I don't know who they played in week 1. I should know because they played Cincinnati, right?
Yes, and they
Cincy
almost
beat them by 1, right?
Cincy squeaked it out at the end.
And then they played Baltimore this past weekend, and Baltimore crushed them.
Yep.
Okay, so I think this is going to be a win for the Lions, but I think it's going to be closer than we want it to be.
They do have a strong defense. Despite having 41 points put up on them, right?
Yes. I mean, the resources that Cleveland has put into that side of the ball are pretty significant. So
my concern with that is if they can put Derrick Henry down to 23 yards and Lamar down to 13 yards, and our engine is our run game, which is going to open up our passing. If they are able to keep Monty and Gibbs into that 30, 40 yard range, I'm not sure how successful we're going to be. So that's my fear with that.
It might be the kind of thing where it's you need to throw to set up the run.
Yeah. So it's usually not our strength. It's usually the other way for us.
I would think that this would be a big St. Brown game, right? And depending on how Baltimore goes, I mean, does Tesla end up having an impact in this game? I mean, I still think that so the Lions in the first 2 weeks have not had a quote unquote X wide receiver on the field like they had when Tim Patrick was on the team, right?
Brian, I'm curious, what is your personal team metric? It's
something like fuck Green Bay, I'm pretty sure. So which fair. But they have not played a traditional X wide receiver like they did last year in week 1 or week 2. If Tesla just goes out there and holds his own against the Ravens, I think that you would see, because I think putting another wide receiver out there changes a lot of the formations that Cleveland would have to run as a defense, putting them in nickel as opposed to base. And that in and of itself should make it easier to run. He, at least in the preseason, was a good run blocker, the kind of dude, he wanted to put his dude in the dirt.
Yep.
So if he can do that to NFL corners or come down,
you don't get the rock, right?
Yeah. If he comes down and hits a linebacker or something like that, he's a big dude. It's 6'3", 230, 240, something like that. So, I mean, I think that there is a way to get the run game going. And I haven't ruled out just going heavy. Just bring in Brock Wright and another offensive lineman and just be we're just going to go heavy. And
Can we talk about Brock Wright for a second?
No, the dude's just
he's just getting more attention and more opportunities, I think, than Laporta is. Is there a problem with Laporta? Is he not as good as his rookie year made him out to be? Or what's going on there?
Here's my thought about it is that has he been quote unquote figured out? Or are teams saying we'll lose, but you have to beat us with Jameson Williams, not so he and Branch. I don't know. Does it bother you how I start a thought and then stop it and then go right to a different thought? Because I do it all.
Not at all.
So here's my thought. Him and Branch are the guys that carve up the middle of the field. Of those two, he's the easier one to take away. So I think teams are doing that because they can't afford to have him be the guy. I don't know why, but to have him be the guy carving them up. I don't know.
Right.
Also this so far, I mean, I know St. Brown had 3 touchdowns this last week and that he finally got his target share back to quote unquote back to normal. But remember, even last year, St. Brown is going to get 3 targets for every one of the next 3, receivers on the team. So I think that the way that the target share is just naturally going to, and he's gone. He's gone.
I'm here. I just said
okay. I think that until he somehow distinguishes himself from the other wide receivers, pass catchers, that you might see Jameson Williams like eat into his target share. So no, we're not doing anything that L. Ron Hubbard invented on this show. There will be none of that.
So I guess why is Brock Wright getting the targets then? Like, I mean, that Brock Wright touchdown seemed like that would have been a Laporta touchdown last year or 2 years ago.
Well, I believe that Laporta was on the field during that play, and that like Brock Wright is the lowest dude on the totem pole, and so no one paid attention to him because they were paying attention to the other guys. And like, I like Brock Wright just fine outside the fact that he went to Notre Dame, but like, he's a human being with hands, and so like, his job is to play football. So I mean, he did that, and like, he's a blocker on this team. So I don't think that this was Brock Wright instead of Sam Laporta. I think it was Sam Laporta and also featuring Brock Wright on this particular play. But the question of Laporta not, quote unquote, not producing is the better one.
Yeah.
For me, because I don't really have an answer to that. I think that his rookie season was, oh, hey, everybody, guess what? I'm pretty good. And then I think the defense is adjusted to basically saying, like, we're used to being able to take away the tight end.
Yeah.
And
I forgot Detroit hasn't had a good tight end in years.
A long time.
I forgot that they're going to do that. And now they're like, all right, well, let's just take this away from them again.
So Sam Laporta had 50 snaps against the Bears, and Wright had 31. Okay, so that is more snaps for Brock Wright than I would have guessed. I would have guessed something like 12. But I think that he's out there because there's no X wide receiver. Like, there's this floating question mark of like, how do you want to line up this play? When last year they were in 11 personnel so much and it was working so well that it's like, can we achieve the same level of offensive output without the X wide receiver? Can these reps with Khalif Raymond replicate it? Can these reps with Brock Wright replicate what we were doing when we had Tim Patrick on the field? And they obviously believe in Tesla, otherwise they wouldn't have traded Patrick.
Right.
So,
yeah, and I wonder if, as I look at the snap counts here, Brock Wright had 31 snaps. Like, you're like, wow, that's more than I thought. 21 of those were run blocks.
Right.
Only 7 of them were actually, routes where he was a pass catcher in the play, whereas Laporta is 22 as a pass catcher, 23 as a run blocker.
Right.
So he's a little bit more 50-50. So I guess he's just out there more as a run blocker and a big body to make the line a little bit bigger, heavier, and wider. And then when you're out there 3/4 of the time doing that, you tend to get forgotten, right?
Right. So once again, like I think that we have effectively said this is why Brock Wright was productive. As to why Sam Laporta wasn't, that's still a wonderful question. And I'm just guessing at the reason why he doesn't seem to be like. Let's just look at it. Like, Sam Laporta. Oh, here he is. Had 4 targets in the game. He had 3 catches for 26 yards, a long of 10. He had 4 targets. So this is what the targets last week for the Lions wide receivers were. St. Brown had 11, 9 catches for 115. Jameson Williams had 4 targets, 2 catches, 108 yards, and a touchdown. St. Brown had 3 touchdowns. Tesla had 1 target, 1 catch, 29 yards. Wright had 3 targets, 3 catches, 28 yards. Laporta, 4 targets, 3 catches, 26. Khalif Raymond had 1 target, 1 catch for 14. Gibbs had 3 targets, 3 catches for 10. Montgomery had 1 target, 1 catch for 4. So, like, they had everyone who was being thrown the ball was catching it. like at a really good clip, right? Because the Bears suck. And great. I love that the Bears suck. But I think what we see is exactly what we are going to see all year, which is that it's like St. Brown's getting 12, Williams is getting 4, Laporte is getting 4. Tesla will carve up like the Khalif Raymond, Brock Wright targets at some point. He'll average around 4. But like that's what it is that there's only so many times you can throw the ball on offense with a team that wants to run. And it's St. Brown and then everybody else. As far as like he's getting 50% of the target share the whole season, so like there, I don't know that there's a ton of room for somebody else to I mean, Tesla's doing the best impression of coach, put me in, I can do good things like that anyone in the NFL is doing so far with 2 catches in the, so far this year in the NFL. But like, I just don't, I mean, like he's going to have to either the targets that he's going to get are the ones where he's schemed up like on a wheel route or sneaking him out or leaking him across or something like that. Because the rest of the middle belongs to St. Brown. Like St. Brown's going to get the out routes. He's going to get the button hooks. He's going to get, that kind of stuff. Like, and it might be that they are using Laporta in a similar way to how they're using Jamison Williams. Like the Lions are all about crossing routes. The Lions want to run crossing routes at every level of the field. They want to go short, medium, deep. So guess who's doing that? It's St. Brown short, Laporta middle, and Jamison Williams deep, because that's where they can get to the fastest, right? And then you are throwing, and I think the reason we saw so many Jahmyr Gibbs checkdowns last week in Green Bay was the Packers gummed all that shit up and they wouldn't let them throw their crossers. So like, the big play for Jamison, one of the big plays for Jamison Williams was a deep crosser that he caught and then got to the edge and took it 40 yards down the field. And it's like, I think that if you start your linebackers 10 to 12 yards off the ball, drop them 5, that's where Laporta lives. Yeah. So I think that it's just like, we have to do the least amount of effort to take away this thing, and we're just going to continually do it. So I don't know what the answer is, because I'm just not smart enough at football to know. So
yeah, I mean, you were talking about the checkdowns last week, and the short throws. I mean, 31 of 39 or 32 of 39 throws were 5 air yards or less. I mean, real short last week. Yeah. Right. And he held the ball like the third, well, depending on, there's 2 different metrics. PFF had him as like the 9th longest, to hold on the ball. And then ESPN or some other analyst group had him as the 3rd longest holding on the ball. So like he held on the ball, but still threw it really short. This week, I'm looking on the PFF side, and I think this is better, right? So your deep and medium is the same as your short 0 to 10. I think this is a pretty reasonable split. You're not going to have your deep as a lopsided, overweight piece compared to everything else. Whereas last week, I think these were real small numbers. So I thought we did a good job of hitting all 3 zones, short, deep, medium, and even, behind the line of scrimmage. We only had a few of those, whereas last week we had like half. So I thought this was good. And even the deep balls were real good. He had a big time throw out there. So I think these are all really good. I liked seeing that screen plays, which surprisingly tends to be our bread and butter sometimes for opening up. When you're in 3rd and long, we hit those screen plays pretty well. We only had 2 screen plays the entire game.
I wouldn't mind more of that. Like, I think both Mahogany and Ratledge are, and maybe this just comes with getting a little more seasoning. Maybe we'll see it, week 6 or something. But Jahmyr Gibbs is the guy that everyone's going to be like, let's put him in the screen game. Let's put him in the screen game. Not arguing that. He seems like a really good weapon for the screen game. Both of those guys can do it. Like I'll bet if you gave David Montgomery 4 targets a game and he caught 3 of them, like the difference to me between Montgomery and Gibbs is the guy that's going to more reliably get you the 20-plus explosive play. And Montgomery's the guy who's going to more reliably get you the 4 and 5 and 6 yard plays, right?
Right.
And it just is my preference personally that I prefer that 3 yard in a cloud of dust. That's how I was raised. Like 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Bo Schembechler football, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and like I do believe that this offense runs best when it's like we're just trying to 4 yards, 2 yards. We can go for that twice with anybody we want on the field, as opposed to like, let's try and hit an explosive on first down and now we're in 2nd and 10. Like, I just think that the Lions are a team that needs to be on script more often than other teams. So
something I do want to point out here is he had 29 dropbacks, right? He was kept clean on 25 of them. For only 4 dropbacks this week, he was under pressure. They blitzed him 6 times, so 2 of those blitzes we picked up, and he didn't get any pressure. So I think that is great. And if you compare that with last week, look at these numbers: 16 under pressure.
Yeah,
only 5 of those were blitzes.
Yeah,
So look at the 26.7 was his grade under pressure, which was always kind of his thing that people complained about, was his ability to perform under pressure. And when you do it 16 times, that shit adds up. And where we're like, this time we only had 4, but even those 4, he did really well under pressure this week. So if we can see these numbers under pressure and this like quantity, like this percentage of snaps compared to what we had before, 37% of the snaps were under pressure in week 1, 13 week 2. If we can keep it at like 13, 15%, I think we're going to be in a much better spot, considering, because that means their defensive line, which is one of the strengths of their defense, isn't getting to us. And if it's not getting to us, I think we're probably in a good shape to win the game.
Right. Yep. So, I mean, the Lions certainly looked like, so the Lions have been, quote unquote, the Lions for like what, 1.5 years?
Yeah, the new look Lions, not the same old Lions.
Not the same old Lions. Were like, they looked really bad, and then they were really bad. So they were a 3-win team, and then they went to 8, right? And then it was 12, then it was 15. And then now we have this season. So like in the 8-win season, we started 1-7. And then they finished out on that unbelievable hot streak, and then 12 years, 12 wins, won the division, 15 wins, won the division on the last week.
Won the conference.
Minnesota. Yeah. Won the conference. Yeah.
Yep.
So to me, the Lions in week 2 looked like the Lions of the previous 1.5 seasons. I don't think anything this type of the season is must win, but I really want them to look like a version of what week 2 was in week 3. Because if they're going to start ping-ponging back and forth between we look like trash when we play good teams and we look like gods when we play bad teams, you're not going to play any bad teams in the playoffs.
Right.
2.5 seasons. Thank you. I'm terrible at math. So chat's looking out for me. Appreciate that, guys. So, or Kathy, if she's even still. Kathy should participate more in chat.
I agree.
And she doesn't, and it hurts my feelings. So
yeah, so she should be chatting. Instead, she sends me a text message.
Yeah,
I love how much fun you guys
Kathy,
have on there.
That's bullshit. All right. Private communication.
She loves how much fun we
show,
have on here, and we do. We have a ton of fun on here.
We do.
So
get involved. So
All right.
Mike,
Anything else?
yeah, I was just gonna say, what is there anything else you guys, or does chat have anything else they wanted to put
So
forth?
now
Was
that
like,
we've got a few people in chat,
yeah,
we started off talking about how this is, Drew is going to a different shift for work, and which means Thursday or Tuesday nights at 7 is right in the middle of his work shift. So I'm curious from chat if there is how you want us to keep. Kathy is chiming more, cuts down the space I've just spout off. How should we go about doing this?
she signed off. We lost it. We lost the viewer.
Yeah.
She's mad at me.
How do we go about doing this? Because we can't do an evening live show because he's going to be at work. Can't do a daytime live show because I'll be at work. We could, potentially try to do like Saturdays or Sundays, but Saturdays and Sundays tend to be family days, and U of M football and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Do we do recordings when we get a chance, maybe, and then post it? Do we still do it live? Curious what people think, what they want, what y'all want us to do, knowing that our schedules are getting wonky now. So
we have nobody. So
all right.
Good call changing topics, bud. So we have some options. Like we can put this out on a Saturday and then have it air at the same time. Well, we won't be live.
Right.
We have considered having the show be shorter, which I will be terrible at to be honest. Because I love to talk and hear my own voice. But we've considered the show being shorter and doing it earlier in the day when Mike would have some more availability and I would be available a lot of the time. We'll do it live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Who was that? Oh, it was Bill O'Reilly. Where he was on. I can't remember what program he was on, but they were live. And he has this meltdown about how he didn't have like his spot or like his cue cards up.
Right.
And like they were practicing it and he goes, "Oh, we'll do it. Stupid thing sucks." Like he went on this like expletive like he was like, "We'll do it live. I'll write it. We'll do it live." And they go, and he goes, "That's right. Now we're going to listen to the latest track by this guy." And then like it cuts to the music, but the camera's still on him. And he like stands up and like tears his jacket off. And like he's pissed. Like it is classic. If you want to watch, I'm usually not about the drama, but I'm all about that. That was hilarious. That's an all-timer. So
I'll have to check that one out. I don't remember seeing that.
Oh, so good. Family Guy did a word for word, like motion for motion parody of it with Stewie, and it was awesome. And it was awesome in the real thing too. So if you guys have suggestions, we would like to know. Either put them in the comments or in our Discord, or if you have access, directly text Mike. That would be great.
I mean, you, Kathy.
Yeah. So if not, we might try some things. So like, unfortunately, the consistency that we try and bring is going to take a hit, I think, for a minute until we can figure out what's going to work for both of us. Always here.
Yeah.
Brian, I think we would get along, man. I think I'm down for that as well. So, but suggestions or feedback, we are actively in a listening mood. So if you have any, please send it forward.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing that we could do is it could be a little bit more ad hoc, right? So like, I got a day job, like literally during the day job. And, but that said, I randomly have lunches where I might be able to pop in, before Drew goes to work. And do we do it live ad hoc? Do we record it in those times and then post it at 7:00 on Tuesdays? Or I love doing the live thing because I love the chat. I mean, the chat is half the fun. Like Drew and I can talk about football just on the phone, or when we get together, play cards or whatever. So it's not as much about that as getting Joseph and Brian and all the guys, and even Danny, I guess, Hatters, like, the whole crew, right? So the 49ers, like the whole crew, that's the fun part, is interacting with the chat, getting some of the questions out there and the comments out there. So I do like it live, but it's a lot harder. It's going to be a lot harder for the foreseeable future. You know what you should do? You should just win the lotto, become independently wealthy, and you wouldn't have to worry about the new shift, right?
I am so down for that. It's not even. I think I would do well being independently wealthy. I don't know.
I'd love to try it.
I'm willing to try for you and the chat.
Yeah.
So
hey, you know what? For the whole group, I would love it if you became independently wealthy just out of the blue.
Yeah, oh, great. You know, the Powerball was up to like $1.4 billion a couple of weeks ago.
I threw $2 at it.
There you go.
They're like, oh, you just want to buy one ticket? I'm like, I only need one to win. If I buy $10 worth, that's 5 tickets, and one of them wins. I just wasted $8.
Oh yeah,
right.
You know, and you know, if you bought another ticket, you'd only double your infinitesimally small chance to win.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like, oh, I went from 7 to 9%. No. You went from .0.00001. Oh, I do want, before we go, I just want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is a straight up bitch. And I hate his guts.
I did not see that coming at all.
He is one of the most bullshit talker, not backing up by your players in the entire NFL. He is a straight up bitch. Like, so last night the Bucks played the Texans, and of course Gardner-Johnson is on the Texans because he's been traded for the 3rd or 4th time in 2 years because nobody wants him on his team, and you can just somehow he keeps tricking people into playing him. And Baker Mayfield runs for a first down and like comes up a little bit gimpy on like an ankle or whatever. Gardner-Johnson, who was not in the play, huge fucking shock, right? Like decides to walk up while the dude is hurt, getting up off the ground, gets in his personal space and starts talking shit. And like, of all the quarterbacks in the NFL, I don't know that I would talk a lot of shit to Baker Mayfield. That dude looks like he'd just be ready to go at the drop of a hat. Like if he played hockey, wouldn't be surprised at all. So like Baker gets to the point where like after Gardner-Johnson like puts a finger into his face, Baker's like, okay, like gloves are off, right? To use an analogy you're comfortable with, Mike. Gloves are off. Let's go, or whatever. And like a wide receiver had to come over and like almost kind of push Baker away from like, let's be real here, destroying Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on national television in front of people. But this is exactly who this guy is and why he has no place in Detroit and why I love the fact that he's not on the team. You weren't in the play. You played like shit. Then you talk shit to a guy who made a play and got embarrassed. Like, absolutely hate this.
Wasn't there an episode, an instance, I should say, where Baker was like scrambling for a first down, and I don't know if it was CJGJ that like hit him or whatever, but he's like, oh, he puts his fist up like 4th down, and Baker's like, I got the first.
Yeah.
Like, just that was pretty funny too.
I don't know if that was this play. It seems absolutely like something the dude would do. Like, oh, I wasn't in the play. I don't know what down the distance is. I haven't even seen the referee mark the ball, but I'll say this. Oh, I'm wrong. Shocker. You know, like unbelievably thrilled this guy's not on the team. Just, I think he was on the Eagles last year, and so he's got a ring, which he completely does not deserve. He does not deserve the ring whatsoever because he contributed in no way, shape, or form to the Eagles having a winning season, nor is he helping the Texans this year because, once again, just to reiterate, he's a straight-up bitch. So, like, absolutely hated it when I saw it.
Will Anderson Jr. was the one celebrating. I found it here. Let me share the screen.
Mike, let's watch it together. Let's watch it together. I can't wait for this.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Un momento.
Yeah, fine. Don't worry about it. I have faith in you. You do this stuff all the time. I couldn't do the show without you because I can't do this stuff.
Can
you make it go a little faster? That would be awesome. I mean,
I'm doing my best.
Oh.
There we go. All right, hold on. Add to stage. All right, so Will Anderson gets up there. He's like, yeah. And Baker's like, I got the first down, bro.
Can you find the like Mayfield, like CJGJ, whatever the letters are, thing. I just want to show everybody what I was talking about.
All right, let me see if I can track that one down.
I'll vamp for a minute. You look for it. Tampa thumbs are extra dumb tonight. Yeah, thumbs are extra dumb. I mean, why do we even need thumbs? We can get the job done with the other four fingers, right? I do think that they're pretty good actually this year, which is unfortunate.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
We got them on our schedule as well, don't we?
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Right after Kansas City, Week 7, Monday Night Football at home against Tampa Bay.
Oh, I like that. I like that quite a bit. Oh, we're actually third in the division right now. What is the tiebreaker on divisional? We haven't played the Vikings. Is it
points?
Well, we've
differential. Oh, I mean differential. We should be owning that, right?
Well, we've scored 65 points, and the Vikings have scored 33 points. We are. I don't know. Is it a away record? Because we're 0-1 away, and that's the only area that. We are 1-1 in the division, and they are 1-0 in the division. That's what it is. Yeah, here it is. No, is it this one?
God bless it. Go back.
God damn it, Mike.
Oh, you know what? They didn't do the whole thing.
Mayfield. I'll just do that.
We lost to the Packers. Vikings lost to the Falcons. All right, so here is that video again.
Yeah, this is it, I think.
Then of course.
God damn it, Mike.
Hey, blame the NFL. Blame the NFL.
I will blame them next.
Start with me, huh?
I always start with you. Oh, yeah. Okay. I think I got it here. Hang on.
He talked crap. He gave Gardner Johnson.
Yeah. I got it. I found it. Hang on. Get your stuff out of there.
All right.
Share screen. Okay. So then I got to come back here. Oh, shit. See, I'm not good at this either.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got you, bro.
Thanks, dude.
Make it bigger.
Yeah. So he grabs his ankle, right? There's Johnson standing over him. The fuck are you doing? You didn't do anything. Okay, now put your finger in his face and let him know. Okay, great. And they lost the game too. I mean, I think they were leading here or whatever, but did nothing. Comes up, dude's hurt, talking shit. Okay, I'm going to talk some more shit. Hey, remember that I did nothing? Let me point it out to you. Remember? Okay, and Baker Mayfield to me, I just said this, doesn't seem like a guy that you should fuck with. I mean, he is maybe the biggest flamethrower quarterback in the NFL. If he gets mad, he might just throw 5 touchdowns in a quarter. That's the kind of thing that if you heard Baker Mayfield did it, you'd be like, oh, okay, I could see it. Shut your fucking mouth. Make a let your play do your talking, which you haven't done in years. I just can't stand
Baker reminds me a little bit of Jameis Winston with a much higher floor.
Okay.
Right? Because Jameis Winston, I mean, hell, he threw for 5,000 yards, but also had 40 interceptions that same year, right? You just didn't know if you're going to get a 500-yard game with, 5 touchdowns and 9 picks, right? Where I think Baker can do the same thing, where he can just blow up out of nowhere. I don't think his bad games are as bad as Jameis Winston, though. So I think his floor is much higher. But Baker can surprise you. He played really well last year. He was, if I recall correctly, he was in the top 12, I think. Let me go back to 2024 by position quarterback offense. Baker was the 9th highest graded quarterback in 2024 with an 85.9. That's real good.
Yeah. So I'm sorry to drag us another 15 minutes of me ranting about how I do not like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. But I needed to say that just for me,
Yeah.
So just don't like it. I don't like shit like that. That is weak. That is weak sauce. When did he lead? Did he lead them in
Last year?
interceptions last season? That's possible.
I
thought Stafford led the NFL, was tied for the lead in interceptions last year. Was he tied with Stafford?
Let's see. Going to Pro Football Reference. 2024. Passing. Ugh. Sometimes I hate this site too. 2024. Seasonal leaders. Passes, touchdowns, interceptions. Last year, Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield led the NFL at 16 interceptions last year.
So they threw one pick a game.
Geno Smith was third at 15. Jared Goff was fourth at 12, tied with Darnold, Purdy, Bo Nix, Stroud, Jameis Winston, Will Levis, and Anthony Richardson.
Was it last year that he had that 5-pick game against the Texans?
Yes.
So, I mean, think about that.
Elevated that, right?
It really dragged the average up. So,
yeah, the funny one to me is Jameis Winston in there at the same number of 12. He only played in 7 games. So, all right. I think we're good. Anything else for the good of the crew, Drew?
No. If like for whatever reason, like stuff gets weird, Mike and I can't figure this out. It's been a lot of fun. Like doing this every Tuesday night with you guys. Just know that I'm trying to get back to first shift as quick as I can. But I work in a union shop and it's based on seniority, and I start at the bottom of the ladder. So probably not. It's certainly not in my control, and it's certainly something that we would need a lot of people to retire, or die in order for me to move up on that ranking. So we'll be back at some point. Yeah, So
winning the lotto it is. All right.
Yeah, I'd be happy to win the lotto if it meant getting back here. So
right. Right on.
Yeah.
All right. We will see you at some point, right? We're not exactly sure how this is going to work with the new schedule, but we'll figure something out, even if it's just random things that we do when we are able to connect up. So till then, let's go Lions.
See you guys.
See you guys.